Next up, we have Jeff Horowitz. He is the co-executive producer of Years of Living Dangerously. He's collaborated on projects for Vice, for PBS NewsHour, Weather Channel, and most recently, he is executive producer for Time to Choose.
The film Time to Choose is just being released. I'd like all of you to think about the fact that it is almost precisely 10 years since An Inconvenient Truth was released. And just to keep alive and awake, I wondered if any or all of you would be willing to just raise your hands if, after watching An Inconvenient Truth, it changed your life in some way. Well, that's pretty darn good for one movie, if you ask me. Time to Choose is not meant to be what the world's like 10 years later, but it is, in a way, what the world is like 10 years later. It is, in many ways, a snapshot of where we are. And I think what makes this film different is that it is trying to understand the severity of the problem, but it is also all about solutions and the fact that we should be optimistic. And it's very hard to do a climate change movie that is not just about doom and gloom. So with that, I'd like you to think about An Inconvenient Truth while you're watching the trailer, and then we'll have a little discussion about Time to Choose.
We see things that the climate scientists of 20 years ago were not predicting would occur so soon.
First, people deny there's a problem. Then they deny that there's a solution. Then they tell you that it's too expensive.
It is a battle to prevent powerful people from spoiling the environment.
Anybody who doesn't understand this is not paying attention to the data.
The assertion that global warming is occurring, it's really a hoax.
How dumb could you be?
We do have a clock in front of us.
Coal contributes to 4 out of the 5 leading causes of death in the United States.
There was actually 6 neighbors who had brain tumors in about a 10-house span.
In countries with a heavy reliance on natural resources, you can see lagging development, high levels of inequality, massive corruption.
When we talk about feeding the world, we have to ask, feeding the world what?
There are literally billions of animals being raised for food. It's pretty shocking when you think of the vast destruction of the forest.
Everything that walked, grew, or flew is annihilated.
What's more criminal than anything else is that we have alternatives that are available today.
This is a crisis, but it's a huge opportunity because we can shift the way we live.
Phenomenal things are happening.
There's a whole series of changes in the way cars are being built.
Solar and wind, that's going to be our primary source of energy.
People who eat heavily plant-based diets have lower rates of obesity, lower rates of cancer.
What is required is an integrated effort. This is a gigantic struggle for the future of the world.
Thank you. I actually want to take a detour for a second. My wife and I go to the movies a lot, and very often we'll see a trailer, and especially if it's a comedy, and there'll be 3 or 4 hysterical jokes in the trailer, and then you see the movie, and the only 3 or 4 hysterical jokes were in the trailer, and everything else was pretty boring. Trailers are not made by the movie makers. They're made by an independent company, and most people don't know that. We never know what the trailer is going to look like until we see it. This trailer is, in fact, a very accurate reflection of what the whole movie is about. It's almost the summary of the movie. And it is different in that it is not a single narrative by an individual or someone that really takes you through a journey. It's, I hate to say it because it almost sounds boring, but it's almost like a book report of all of the different things that are going on. And it's the good, the bad, and the ugly, and it's trying to sort of mix all of these things up all in one film. It truly is a snapshot of where we are, but what I am really pleased about is that it is a message of hope. And if you think about Al Gore's movie, he takes us through the fact that humankind has been around for 6 million years and that there has been this one event over the last 150 years with industrialization, and after millions and millions of years, we're in this little tiny time crunch where actually it's been in my generation, in the last 50 years, that we've put all this carbon pollution in the air. And if you talk to industry leaders like Paul Pullman and others, our generation who did this really have a responsibility to clean it up. We can't just leave it to the next generation. And what gives me a lot of hope is when you see the film and you see what's going on and you see all the work that's being done in this room, in the last 10 years, we've accomplished an enormous amount. But the truth is, we really are racing a clock. We are really trying to, there's no doubt in anyone's mind in this room that climate change is a solvable problem. It just is. Spoiler alert, in the movie, it will be announced that during the course of making the movie, renewables and clean energy have become cheaper than coal and oil. No doubt about it. But in the movie, you will also have statements by Brune from the Sierra Club and others that say, well, okay, now that we've won, does that mean that this massive oil industry is going to step aside and say, we lost? Absolutely not. So there is a battle going on with the fact that we have this cheaper source of energy that could make our planet healthier, greener, wonderful. Everything could be so much better when in fact we still have, I'm going to sound like George Bush, but evildoers that are out there that really want to keep doing what they've been doing. And you know, we've gotten all kinds of great reviews on the film. The one review that was really bad was the New York Post, which is owned by Murdoch, who said, this is another one of those propaganda movies, you know, blah, 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 and all that. I want to take us to the issue of time for just one moment, because one of the reasons I joined this project and other projects is because of a long attachment to the issue of ending deforestation, which is a really big part of climate change. I know Inger Anderson and others who are here love the idea of understanding this connection between climate change and the environment, and it's a really important one. But I want to bring it up because this is a room filled with people who are involved in the energy world and may not have the same connection to forests and what forests mean to climate change. So I'll just say this very briefly. We are on a trajectory where we will get to a green energy world. We will get to cars that are all electric. These are inevitabilities, just as people are dumping landlines and using cell phones. It is part of the way the world will evolve. No question about it. It's all a matter of time. Ending deforestation is an entirely different kettle of fish. Forests can be preserved for an eternity. There's no doubt about it. It's a matter of the political will. It's a matter of doing things to change practices. It doesn't require new technology advances. It doesn't require a huge amount of money. It's a matter of just stopping the way that we've been doing what we've been doing. There are lots of great people who've been working on this, but the most exciting avenue that I've been involved with, which I'm very, very happy to sort of talk about later on with all of you privately, is an initiative by 400 companies that are the largest consumers of products that come out of forests, like Unilever and Cargill and Procter & Gamble and Coca-Cola. All of these companies rely on the natural resources of our planet. And recently, all 400 companies worth $3.1 trillion in commodities have pledged that they will not have any of their supply chain be allowed to take down a single tree. Now, I want you to know that when it comes to solutions, I get excited. And this is one of those solutions that makes me very excited because it's not just the companies, but it means that those people who are in governments that are connected with these forested areas from Indonesia to Brazil to the Congo Basin, all are being put on alert that they can't keep doing business as usual. And deforestation accounts for 15% of carbon emissions. That's all the cars, trains, and planes combined. But because forests sequester carbon, it's 1/3 of the climate change solution. So why is this so important to all of us in this room who are also involved in energy and transforming cars? It buys us time if we can end deforestation almost immediately so that this clean tech, low carbon solution can have the added time that we need to collectively work at this solution. So I'm excited about this fusion between ending deforestation with all the clean energy work. It's the perfect partnership. And as long as I have the ability to try to help make movies or help with television documentaries and do other messaging opportunities, I committed myself, and I hope all of you commit yourselves to doing the same and helping to solve this climate crisis. Thank you all for inviting me to be here.